Whole stack here, articles, advice, even some personal stories about estate planning in California. Seems like you really want to understand how to protect what you've built and make things easier for your loved ones down the line.
Well, you're right. And a lot of people think estate planning is only for the wealthy,
Hmm.
or for people nearing retirement.
Right.
But really anyone over 18 in California can benefit from getting things in order. I mean, imagine a young college student who just got their first car.
Yeah.
If something unexpected happened, wouldn't it be better if their family knew what to do with their stuff,
Absolutely.
their
Yeah.
accounts, that car?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not just about the big estates. It's about having a plan no matter what.
Exactly.
And speaking of plans, these sources mention durable power of attorney and advanced healthcare directives.
Yeah,
Those seem like crucial first steps, right?
absolutely. Those documents can really make a difference if you're suddenly unable to make decisions for yourself.
Right.
Like, think about it. Durable power of attorney lets you choose someone to handle your finances,
Yeah.
like paying bills, managing investments.
Yeah.
You're giving them the legal authority to act on your behalf.
Okay.
And the Advanced Healthcare Directive, that's where you lay out your wishes for medical treatment,
Oh, okay.
even end-of-life care.
Wow.
It gives your loved ones and doctors a clear guide. So they're respecting your values, even if you can't speak for yourself.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, for everyone involved, knowing those tough decisions are already made.
Oh, yeah. It takes a lot of pressure off.
And then there are wills and trusts, right?
Right.
Those seem to be like the cornerstones of estate planning.
They are, yeah.
The documents that determine what happens to your stuff after you're gone.
Exactly. And California has some quirks with these documents, too.
Oh, really?
Like, you can actually have a valid handwritten will here.
Oh,
They call them holographic wills.
holographic. Wow.
But one attorney I was reading pointed out those can get messy.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to decipher your great aunt's handwritten wishes,
Oh, wow.
for her vintage record collection or something like that. A more formal will, drafted with an attorney, it brings more clarity, more peace of mind, makes things smoother for your executor, too.
Gotcha. So a will is like a clear set of instructions.
Right.
But what about trusts? Some of the articles mention trusts can help avoid probate,
Yeah.
which sounds like a real headache in California.
It can be, yeah. Probate's a lengthy legal process here, and it can be quite costly.
Right.
Eating into your estate, a trust can help you bypass that. Think of a trust like a separate legal entity,
Right.
like a safe deposit box for your assets, like your house or bank accounts.
Mhm.
You create it while you're alive, transfer ownership of your assets to it,
Okay.
and then you specify how and when those assets are distributed to your beneficiaries. It can save your family a lot of time, money, and hassle.
So with a trust, you're essentially like sidestepping that whole probate courtroom drama.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
It's like having a VIP pass to get your assets where they need to go.
exactly.
But one source mentioned different types of trusts, right?
Yeah,
Revocable and irrevocable, something like that.
that's right. Yeah.
What's the difference?
So, a revocable living trust, as the name suggests, it can be changed or even dissolved during your lifetime. It offers more flexibility, like if your circumstances change, like getting married or having kids
Oh, okay.
or selling your house, that kind of thing. An irrevocable trust, on the other hand, is more like setting things in stone.
Okay.
It's permanent. It can't be easily modified. They're often used for specific goals, like minimizing estate taxes or
Yeah.
protecting assets for someone with special needs.
It seems like choosing between a will and a trust, even what kind of trust, it could get tricky. Is that where an estate planning attorney comes in?
Absolutely. DIY websites can be tempting, but California's laws are nuanced, and the stakes are high. An estate planning attorney is like a seasoned guide,
Yeah.
leading you through the process, helping you avoid pitfalls.
Yeah.
They'll make sure your documents are legally sound and tailored to your unique needs.
Right.
Whether you're protecting your vintage record collection
Hmm.
or a multi-million-dollar business.
Right.
It's important to have someone who knows what they're doing.
So we've talked about the basics.
Yeah.
Wills, trusts, powers of attorney. Those are like the essential tools
Right.
in your estate planning toolbox.
Exactly.
But what happens when things get more complicated?
Yeah.
Like blended families or planning for, young children.
That's where estate planning gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about documents, it's about people and relationships.
Okay.
Take blended families, for instance.
Mm.
Spouses with children from previous marriages.
Right.
Everyone might have different expectations about inheritance.
Yeah.
Things can get messy quickly. if those aren't addressed.
One source used this analogy like it's like trying to fit together puzzle pieces
Right.
that don't quite match
Exactly.
without open communication and a carefully crafted estate plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Those mismatched pieces can lead to conflict
Oh, yeah,
and resentment down the line.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine a scenario. A widow with 2 children remarries.
Okay.
She wants to provide for her new husband, of course.
Yeah.
But she also wants to ensure her children from her first marriage ultimately inherit her family home.
Right. Right.
That's where a tool like a marital trust can be really helpful.
Oh, that's that special type of trust we saw mentioned a few times.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through how a marital trust would work?
Sure. In this case, the widow could create a marital trust as part of her overall living trust.
Okay.
Upon her death, her assets would be placed in the trust.
Mm-hmm.
Her new husband, as the surviving spouse, could receive income from the trust,
Okay.
even access some of the principal if needed.
Yep.
But the trust document would specify that upon his death, the remaining assets, including the family home, would be distributed to her children.
That's a clever way to balance the needs of both, right?
Right.
Spouses and children.
Yes.
It's like creating a roadmap, ensuring that everyone's interests are protected,
Exactly.
even when things get emotionally complex.
Yeah. And speaking of protecting interests, another situation that requires careful planning is having minor children.
Right.
If something were to happen to both parents,
Yeah.
who would take care of the kids? Who would manage their inheritance?
It's a good question, yeah.
It's not just about finances, you know?
Right.
It's about ensuring their well-being
Yeah.
in a very vulnerable time.
Yeah. One of the articles really stressed the importance of naming guardians
Yeah,
in your will.
absolutely.
They said that without that designation, the courts would step in
Right.
and decide who raises your children. Yeah. A situation most parents would want to avoid.
Yeah. Naming guardians in your will gives you control over who will raise your children, make decisions about their education,
Okay.
handle any assets they inherit. It's like choosing a trusted backup pilot
Oh.
for your most precious cargo.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to make sure they share your values,
Mm-hmm.
that you can trust them to guide your children.
Right. In a way that aligns with your wishes.
Exactly.
Okay. And what happens if a child has special needs?
Yeah.
One source talked about using special needs trusts, right?
Yeah.
To provide financial support
Right.
without jeopardizing their eligibility for government benefits.
That's a crucial area where specialized planning can make a world of difference.
Okay.
Government programs like SSI and Medicaid
Right.
often have strict asset limits.
Mm-hmm.
If a person with disabilities receives an inheritance directly, it could put those benefits at risk.
Oh, wow.
But a special needs trust allows assets to be held and managed for their benefit
Okay.
without impacting their eligibility.
So the trust can pay for things like medical expenses,
Yeah,
specialized equipment, even recreational activities
exactly.
that enhance their quality of life,
Right.
all without jeopardizing those crucial government benefits.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. We talked earlier about avoiding probate.
Yeah.
One source said that if a minor in California inherits more than $184,500,
Mm-hmm.
they usually need something called a conservatorship.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is that?
So a conservatorship is a legal process where a court appoints someone to manage the financial affairs
Okay.
and or personal care of another person deemed incapable of handling those things themselves.
Oh, okay.
It's often used for minors who inherit significant assets
Right.
or adults who become incapacitated due to illness or injury.
So in the case of a minor inheriting a large sum, a conservatorship might be necessary to protect their interests
Yep, that's right.
until they reach adulthood.
However, conservatorships can be costly. They can be time-consuming. They involve ongoing court supervision.
Right.
Plus, it limits the individual's control over their own finances.
Right. Right.
That's why families often explore alternatives like trusts, which can provide a way to manage and distribute assets for a minor's benefit without the need for court intervention.
So it sounds like trust can be a real game changer in these situations,
Absolutely.
offering more flexibility and control
Right.
than a conservatorship. We've covered a lot of different scenarios here.
We have.
Blended families, minor children,
Uh-huh.
individuals with special needs. It really highlights how estate planning can be tailored right?
It can, yeah.
To fit so many unique needs.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and that's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah.
Each estate plan is like a fingerprint,
Yeah.
unique to the individual and their family dynamics.
And it reinforces that key point. We keep coming back to it.
Right.
Estate planning isn't just about filling out forms.
Exactly.
It's about making thoughtful decisions that reflect your values and protect the people you care about.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
It's about peace of mind, knowing that you've done everything you can to ensure their well-being.
Absolutely.
No matter what life throws their way.
You put it perfectly. It's about taking control of a complex and often emotional process and making it work for you.
Right.
And your loved ones.
All right, so we've talked about a lot the essentials, and some more complex scenarios.
Right, yeah.
I think now it's time to shift gears a little. Talk about some of the mistakes people make.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So our listener can, avoid those pitfalls.
Absolutely. One of the biggest ones is treating estate planning like a set it and forget it thing.
Yeah.
Life is constantly changing.
Right.
You get married, you have kids, you move, maybe you win the lottery.
Right.
Your estate plan needs to keep up.
That reminds me, one of these articles mentioned beneficiary designations.
Yeah.
On retirement accounts, life insurance policies. They can actually override your will.
They can, yeah. It's a crucial detail.
Seems like an easy thing to overlook.
It is. Like, let's say you get divorced, but forget to update the beneficiary on your 401k. If something happens to you, your ex-spouse could still inherit those funds.
Oh, wow.
Even if your will says otherwise. It's like setting your GPS for a destination,
Yeah.
but forgetting to adjust the route after a detour.
Okay, yeah, that's a good analogy. So those beneficiary designations, they're like express lanes,
Pretty much, yeah.
bypassing the instructions in your will.
Right.
What other oversights do people commonly make?
Another common one is failing to properly fund a living trust.
Oh.
Think of like a safe deposit box for your assets. You can have the most secure, state-of-the-art safe deposit box in the world, but if you don't put anything in it,
Right.
it's not going to protect your valuables.
So even if you create a trust, but forget to transfer ownership of, your house or bank accounts into the trust.
Yeah, you're essentially defeating the purpose.
Gotcha. So those assets would still be subject to probate,
Right.
even though you went through all the trouble of setting up a trust.
Exactly. It's like having a spare tire in your car, but never learning how to change it. When you need it, it won't be of much use.
That's true, yeah. It seems like working with an attorney is really essential.
It is, yeah.
Not just for creating the documents, but making sure they, work as intended.
Absolutely.
They're like the mechanics who ensure your estate planning vehicle runs smoothly.
I like that, yeah.
One thing that came up a lot in these sources was communication
Yeah.
within families, right? It sounds like a lot of headaches could be avoided if people were just more upfront about their wishes.
Absolutely. You're right. Estate planning isn't just about paperwork. It's about having those sometimes difficult conversations with your loved ones.
Right.
Talk to your spouse, your children, your siblings. Make sure they understand your wishes. Know where to find important documents.
So it's like creating a family guidebook,
Yeah, exactly.
providing them with a map to navigate, a potentially overwhelming process.
Absolutely.
Transparency and open communication can really make a difference.
It really can.
And remember, estate planning isn't a one-time event.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
Right.
Review your plan. Update it as needed. Seek professional guidance. Whenever you encounter major life changes or legal developments.
Right. Good advice.
We've talked about so much. Wills, trusts, probate, special situations, common mistakes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that stands out to you?
What really fascinates me about estate planning is that it goes beyond the mechanics of transferring wealth.
Oh, okay.
It's a chance to reflect on your values, your legacy, the impact you want to make on the world.
It's not just about dividing up your stuff, but thinking about what that stuff represents,
Exactly.
what you want to leave behind.
Could a portion of your estate support a cause you're passionate about? Could you establish a scholarship fund? Donate to your favorite charity? It's an opportunity to create a ripple effect of generosity that extends beyond your lifetime.
That's a powerful thought to end on.
It is.
It's not just what you leave behind, but the impact it can have.
Yeah, exactly. As you embark on this estate planning journey, remember, it's about more than just protecting your assets. It's about shaping your legacy.
Well, what a journey it's been. We've unpacked the essentials, explored those complex scenarios,
Right.
and even touched on the deeper meaning of legacy. Remember, estate planning isn't just about paperwork. It's about peace of mind, protecting your loved ones,
Yeah.
and making a lasting impact. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.